I have a function God would have me fulfill. You have a function God would have you fulfill. Welcome back, fam. Today we are going to be studying lesson 192 of A Course in Miracles. Now let's go ahead and dive straight in. If you got the book, pull up. If you don't got the book yet, the PDF is in the description. Let's go ahead and begin. Me and you have a function God would have us fulfill. It is your Father's holy will that you complete Himself, and that your capital S self, who you really are, shall be His sacred Son, forever pure as He, of love created and in love preserved, extending love, creating in its name, forever one with God and with your capital S self, who you really are. Yet, what can such a function mean within a world of envy, hatred, and attack? Therefore, you have a function in the world in its own terms. For who can understand a language far beyond his simple grasp? Forgiveness represents your function here. It is not God's creation, for it is the means by which untruth can be undone. Now we're going to press pause right there and understand that forgiveness is only necessary in this world, because this world is the complete opposite of what heaven is, if you will. This world is dominated by a thought system based on fear, which is the opposite of love. Now, God being love knows no fear. God being love does not judge. God being love does not condemn. Therefore, God being love does not need to forgive you for what you cannot do. Whatever you do here in this world, in this body, in this illusion, in this dream, will never change who you really are in truth. So although you can make mistakes in this world, and although in this world somebody could harm another, and although in this world someone could do something that is so opposite from what they'd do if they were in their right mind, God is not judging them for that, because God being love cannot judge. That person who made the mistake or the attack or whatever may have occurred is only judging and harming themselves. And until they return to the state of mind of love and only perfect love, they are going to be condemned in hell themselves, not because anyone put them there, but because they put themselves there. However, God does not need to forgive that individual over there, because God never condemned them, because God knows who that individual really is, and knows that if they were in their right mind, they first of all wouldn't have acted the way they did, and secondly, they never actually acted in that way to begin with, because this world is an illusion. Meaning, one more time, this cannot be repeated enough, no matter what we do here in these bodies, in this world, it will never change who we really are, because God creates timeless. God creates the changeless. God created spirit, which is who you are. You are not the body. So although you are, and everyone here is the body, although everyone here is spirit, and they believe that they're a body and they're acting as if they were a body, that's not going to change the fact that they're spirit, and it's not going to change the fact that they are changeless, and they can never do nothing in this body while being here that can change their true nature. So that's a very long-winded way of saying that let's see, it's right here. That's a very long-winded way of saying that forgiveness represents your function here. It is not God's creation, for it is the means by which untruth can be undone. So while we are in this world of illusion, we definitely need forgiveness, not because we need to be forgiven by our Creator, but because we are one with our Creator, and we need to forgive what we think we are, so that way we can understand that never really occurred to begin with, and we can wake up to the fact of who we really are. This, again, for someone who is not really in the vicinity of this knowledge, is going to sound very concept. It is going to sound very conceptual. It is going to sound very challenging or very woo-woo, whatever it may sound like to someone who is sleeping. However, somebody like ourselves who have been studying this for the past 192 days, and probably a little longer than that, because no one comes across this powerful course their first time around unless they're ready for it. We have done the internal work, and we have released so much resistance and so much belief systems that were opposed to truth that we know this to be the truth. We know that forgiveness is needed in this world, and we know that once we are in a state of mind that is so pure, forgiveness is unnecessary. Like right now, me and you, if you're here with me, are in such a pure state of mind that we need no forgiveness. We do not need to be forgiven right now. We do not need to forgive anybody right now. We are in a pure state of mind where we are one with our Creator. We are experiencing the fullness of who we really are flowing through us, and forgiveness is unnecessary in truth, because in truth, you can never really do anything that can cause you to fall asleep. You can never really do anything that could change who you are. You are just true. You are love. You are light. And that is eternal. And that is infinite. And that is how it has always been and forever will be. Time doesn't even exist in truth. It is simply so beyond what words can convey that trying to do so right now is not going to get us anywhere. But just know that right now in this state of mind, we are who God created. We are who we really are. We are an extension of that which we call God. We are an expression of that which we call God. We are one with our source. We are one with all aspects of creation. We are all aspects of creation. We are it all. Now, let's just keep in mind everything we've discussed so far as we move along today. And let's understand that this is what we want. We cannot mention that enough, that this is what we want. We do not want anything other than this state of mind. Everything that we think we want out there in the world is going to be a byproduct of how well we are able to stay in our right state of mind. If someone out there is chasing something that they feel like they don't have, it is only because they don't understand that they are already it. They already have it. And if they were to realize that, it would fall right into their lap. And because they're chasing something that they believe that they're lacking, they are never going to get it, or it is going to require a lot more effort than necessary. So let's remember that the love of God is what we're experiencing right now, and this is what we want, and this is in everyone and everything. The love of God is all that there is. This is simply all there is to choose from. However, whenever you are in the world of duality and you believe that there is another option to choose from, you're going to believe what you are going to choose what you would call the opposite of love, which would be fear. However, fear, what is all encompassing, love, which is all encompassing, can have no opposite. Therefore, that's another way of saying fear does not exist. It is only love. That is the only option. And just because we are here in this world doesn't mean that we cannot experience that all the time. And while we are in our right state of mind and we are aware and awake, now we can choose to experience all aspects of ourself. We can choose to experience what fear would feel like, knowing that we can turn that switch on and off anytime we prefer. We can choose to feel what anger or worry or doubt would feel like, but we could turn that on and off anytime we prefer. And not a lot of people could do that because they are experiencing so much irrational and uncontrollable emotions that they don't have the choice to turn off fear or worry or doubt. They are simply stuck in fear or worry or doubt because they believe it's real. They are stuck in fear and they cannot lift themselves out of the illusion because they're trying to use other things in the illusion to help them get out of the illusion, which is something that cannot be done. You need a higher mind, someone who is out of the illusion in order to lift you out of the illusion. You need truth in order to lift yourself out of the illusion. So the whole reason for mentioning this is to mention that we have a choice at all moments in time, and so does everyone else. And whenever we're aware that we have a choice, we can choose deliberately. And when we're unaware that we're making a choice, then we are going to continue to keep choosing more of the same and be bound to that choice until we get a miracle. And all a miracle is simply a healed perception. So somebody who is experiencing not enoughness and worry and doubt and any form of fear that it may take, they are stuck. there, because they don't know that they're choosing it. So they're choosing more and more and more of the same, and they're stuck experiencing that lack until they get a miracle that snaps them out of the illusion and back into their right mind. And depending on how well they are able to hold their focus in that right minded perspective is going to determine how long they stay in the right mind. And if they can't hold their focus for too long, they're going to experience that little glimpse of enlightenment, and then they're going to choose falsely again, and then be bound to it again, and they're going to need another miracle. And me and you are going, and already have been, getting to the point to where we no longer need miracles, because we are in our right mind so much of the time that a miracle is not necessary here for us. We are actually the workers of miracles. Me and you produce miracles. Me and you are miracle workers, and we work miracles for those who need them, because someone who is in the world of illusion definitely needs a healed perception to reawake them to the fact that they are love and light, and as God created them, always have been and forever will be. They need that miracle, and somebody who is there and anchored in that state of mind needs no miracle, needs nothing, because they understand that they are one with and already have everything. It is not God's creation, for it is the means by which untruth can be undone. And who would pardon heaven? Yet on earth you need the means to let illusions go. Creation merely awaits for your return to be acknowledged, not to be complete. Creation cannot be conceived of in the world. It has no meaning here. Forgiveness is the closest it can come to earth. For being heaven-born, it has no form at all. Yet God created one who has the power to translate in form the wholly formless. What he makes are dreams, but of a kind so close to waking that the light of day already shines in them, and eyes already opening behold the joyful sights of their offerings contain. Forgiveness gently looks upon all things unknown in heaven, sees them disappear, and leaves the world a clean and unmarked slate, on which the word of God can now replace the senseless symbols written there before. Remember, me and you have given everything that we see all the meaning that it has for us. We have given these glasses all the meaning they have. We have given this shirt, our vehicles. We have given people, situations, circumstances, and events all the meaning that it has for us. We have given those meaningless symbols meaningless meaning. We have literally been projecting our own sense of separation from our source, our own sense of fear onto everyone and everything we see, and we are using that as our justification for believing why we are the body and why we think that we are who we think that we are. Because we don't know who we really are. We think we're the body. We think we're the ego. We think we're this tiny little insignificant self-image that is cut off from everyone and everything, separate from everyone and everything. We are believing that we are alone because there's not another body by us. We are believing that we are lacking a material because its physical counterpart is not in our possession. We are simply hallucinating. And whenever we stop giving meaning to everything out there in the world, which is what we're doing unknowingly, whenever we're aware that we're doing that, and whenever we just step back and press pause on doing that, then we return to the fact that everything is neutral in this world. This watch is neutral. This chain is neutral. These glasses are neutral. Shirt, neutral. Mic, neutral. Person over there, that body, neutral. Situation, circumstance, event, neutral. Everything in this world is a symbol, and it is reflecting back to you what you gave it first. And if you don't give it nothing first, then it could reflect back to you what it really is, which is the love of God. That is all everything really is the love of God. It is love, it is light, it is source, it is a reflection of who you really are. And whenever you don't know who you really are, that is simply going to be a reflection of what you think you are. So whenever you look at an individual over there and you see them as guilty or annoying or envy or jealous or whatever it may appear that you see them as, they are only a symbol reflecting back to you the meaning you gave it first, meaning they're reflecting back to you who you think you are. But whenever you know who you really are, which is love and light, which is the Son of God, which is as God created you, which is source, which is one with your creator, which is God, whenever you remember that that's who you are, then you will not be able to see anything other than that in anyone and everything. That's simply how it works. So one more time, forgiveness gently looks upon all things unknown in heaven, sees them disappear, and leaves the world a clean and unmarked slate on which the Word of God can now replace the senseless symbols written there before. Me and you have given everything senseless meaning, and whenever we step away from trying to give everything meaning and labeling everything and identifying everything as this and that, then we will allow it to be what it really is, which is what God would have there. And God would have it be as it was created, which is love and light. That's all everything really is. That is the best words that we can use right now to convey that everything is good. Everything is extension of love and light. But there is no amount of words in this world that can convey that message to somebody who is not in the vibrational vicinity of understanding that that's what's going on here. Meaning, if someone's very far from understanding what me and you are understanding right now, these words that we're speaking right now are going to be meaningless. They're not going to make no sense. It's going to be like another language. It's going to be like another language. But because me and you are in the vicinity of understanding the validity behind these words, we know that what is being discussed right now is what is going on right now. We know that what is being discussed right now is how things work, and it is just truth, and it cannot be changed. It can be accepted or denied, but that's it. And the faster we accept this, and the faster we accept only this, the faster we will return to our right state of mind forevermore without being interrupted from that state of mind. We can be in the state of mind without being interrupted, without anything grabbing our attention. And in fact, whenever we are experiencing the state of mind like we are right now, and then something out there in the world occurs that causes us to get irritated or annoyed or angry or sad or bored or feeling meaningless, whatever the case may be, whatever that thing is that happened out there, I want you to take note of it in your mind and say, okay, well, that neutral thing over there just threw me out of balance, and nothing neutral could ever throw the Son of God out of balance, which must mean that I have given that thing some sort of meaning to cause it to cause me to react in the way that I did. That's important to know, because now you know every time you see that person over there who always throws you off balance, or anytime you see a person with that certain personality type that always throws you off balance, or anytime this conversation gets brought up and it throws you off balance, you know, hey, I have given this conversation or these symbols all the meaning they have for me, because in reality, it's love and light. And because I'm not feeling love and light right now, and I'm feeling upset, or whatever form upset may take right now due to this experience occurring right now, it is because I've given all the meaning. And now I'm going to observe what meaning it is that I have given this thing to allow me to throw me off balance, and I'm going to retract that meaning. I'm going to find the meaning within my consciousness, within my awareness, and I'm going to blow out that charge. I'm going to release that belief system from my mind, so in that way next time I see this thing that got me upset and frustrated, it cannot do so again, because I released the meaning from its source, which is me. I released the meaning. I released all attachment to it. I blew out that belief system from my field and my awareness, that next time I see something like this, I have no meaning to give it, because I see it as it really is, which is love and light. Therefore, I cannot be thrown off balance. You cannot have any buttons pushed if you don't have no buttons to be pushed. No one could push your buttons. Nothing could push your buttons unless you do have a button to push. And the point that me and you are getting to is to not have no buttons to push. We want to be unaffectable, which we are in truth. We're unaffectable. We are the cause. However, while still believing that there's something out there that could throw us off balance, we can be affected, not because that's affecting us, but because we have given it meaning. Therefore, we're affecting ourselves and blaming it on that outside condition. And whenever we understand that we're doing it all to ourselves, and we figure out what it is that symbol over there represents in our mind, and we figure out what that belief is that's in the back of our consciousness that is underneath all those cobwebs in our awareness, and we release that and we dust off those cobwebs and we shine light there on those dark corners of our mind, now we have no beliefs that are contrary to who we really are. Therefore, we can't see anything than what we really are out there in the world. The only reason why we see fear out there is because there's still some form of fear up here in our awareness. And if there was not, we would not be able to see anything other than a reflection of who we really are out there in the world, which is love and light. So this is the work. This is the work. This is the work. It is what is necessary for me and you to do if we really want to be free. If we want to be free, which is what we all want. However, people believe that they're going to find freedom out there in money or in success or accolades or people or places or things, and they're looking for freedom out there where they're never going to find it. They're going to achieve what it is that they think that they want, and it's going to provide them temporary freedom until they need their next fix, while me and you are over here getting the actual roots plucked out of our awareness, so that way we never need a next fix, because we never are imprisoned again. We are the only ones who are imprisoning ourselves. Everyone out there is the only one who is ever imprisoning themselves. And whenever we do something about releasing the imprisonment from our consciousness within and releasing those beliefs and those thought systems that oppose truth, we cannot be imprisoned. We are free. And now we need nothing out there in the world, and we can experience it all if we so desire to, but we are not bound to it, needing it to happen like the rest of the world is. The rest of the world is trapped. They are imprisoned. They are chasing something that they are never going to find. And it would be most beneficial to do what we are doing right now, which is healing that at the source, so that way we can experience all of the stuff that those people are wanting to experience. Now, the only difference between person A and person B is that person A is wanting to experience freedom, and they are believing that freedom lies in money or something outside of themselves. And person B wants to experience freedom, and they know that freedom is something that they experience because of who they are, and they release all blocks in their consciousness that are prohibiting them from experiencing freedom, and they free themselves, and now person B is free and needs nothing. And now while person A is over there chasing all the stuff in the world that they think is going to provide them freedom, person B is experiencing all those things and is not affected by none of them, because they are being who they really are and know that it's all an experience. It's all play of consciousness. It's all an illusion. It's all not real. It's all temporary. And if you're looking for your happiness or freedom outside of yourself, it's very fleeting, and you're never going to have something out there occur that is going to bring you long-lasting freedom. That is something that you have to look for within, and remember that you already have it. You just have to release any beliefs to the contrary that you have to release any beliefs to the contrary. Forgiveness gently looks upon all things unknown in heaven, sees them disappear, and leaves the world a clean and unmarked slate on which the word of God can now replace the senseless symbols written there before. Forgiveness is the means by which the fear of death is overcome, because it holds no fierce attraction now, and guilt is gone. Forgiveness lets the body be perceived as what it is, a simple teaching aid, to be laid by when learning is complete, but hardly changing him who learns at all. The mind, without the body, cannot make mistakes. It cannot think that it will die, nor be the prey of merciless attack. Anger becomes impossible, and where is terror then? What fears could still assail those who have lost the source of all attack, the core of anguish and the seat of fear? Only forgiveness can relieve the mind of thinking that the body is its home. Only forgiveness can restore the peace that God intended for his Holy Son. Only forgiveness can persuade the Son to look again upon his holiness. With anger gone, you will indeed perceive that, for Christ's vision and the gift of sight, no sacrifice was asked, and only pain was lifted from a sick and tortured mind. Is this unwelcome? Is it to be feared? Or is it to be hoped for, met with thanks and joyously accepted? We are one, and therefore give up nothing, but we have indeed been given everything by God. Yet do we need forgiveness to perceive that this is so? Without its kindly light we grope in darkness, using reason but to justify our range and our attack. Our understanding is so limited that we think we understand is Our understanding is so limited that what we think we understand is but confusion born of error. We are lost in the mists of shifting dreams and fearful thoughts, our eyes shut tight against the light, our minds engaged in worshiping what is not there. Who can be born again in Christ but him who has forgiven everyone he sees or thinks of or imagines? Who could be set free while he imprisons anyone? A jailer is not free, for he is bound together with his prisoner. He must be sure that he does not escape, and so he spends his time in keeping watch on him. Oh my goodness, this is a powerful analogy right here. We're going to read this one more time, and this is going to help us understand the importance of forgiveness, whether that's forgiving someone else out there or forgiving ourselves, forgiving a quote past version of ourselves, forgiving ourselves yesterday for not doing what we think we should have done, forgiving ourselves 3, 5, 10 years ago for not making the decision we think we should have made that would have caused us to be free or caused us to have love or caused us to have a better life today. Whatever it is that we think we should have done better in the past is what's keeping us imprisoned right now, because we are keeping eye on our prisoner because we haven't forgiven him or let him go. We are keeping eye on our prisoner, i.e. who we once were in the past, and we're not letting him free or ourselves free. So let's read this paragraph one more time very slowly and understand the magnitude of the meaning behind this analogy. A jailer is not free, for he is bound together with his prisoner. He must be sure that he does not escape, and so he spends his time in keeping watch on him. The bars that limit him become the world in which his jailer lives, along with him. And it is on his freedom that the way to liberty depends for both of them. One more time. A jailer is not free, for he is bound together with his prisoner. Me and you are not free, for we are bound together with our past perceived wrongdoings. Meaning, if I believe that the version of me 3 years ago should have made a better decision and I still haven't forgiven myself for making that decision, I cannot be free right now because I'm keeping such a close watch on who I used to be as a prisoner. I'm keeping such a close watch on him that I'm in the prison cell with him basically at this point. So remember, it states right here, he must be sure that he does not escape, and so he spends his time in keeping watch on him. The bars that limit him become the world in which his jailer lives along with him, and it is on his freedom that the way to liberty depends for both of them. So this is why it's so important to understand forgiveness even deeper than ever than we have understood it before, because forgiveness is what is going to set us free. Remember, forgiveness is our function as the light of the world, here in this world anyways, because in truth, although forgiveness is unnecessary, while we are still in the world of illusion and we are experiencing anything other than outrageous joy and love and peace, most importantly, we need forgiveness. We need to forgive ourselves. We need to forgive everyone else. And whenever we do that, we will no longer be imprisoned. We will be free and our mind will be at peace. So understand that your happiness and your function are one. Whenever you're happy, forgiveness is unnecessary. And whenever you are unhappy, happiness and your function are one, meaning function your function as light of the world is forgiveness, meaning when you're not happy, forgiveness is required in that moment. And it's your job to really pay attention to what needs forgiveness or who needs forgiveness in the moment when you're unhappy, so that way you can return to your right state of mind. Therefore, hold no one prisoner. Release instead of bind, for thus you are made free. The way is simple. Every time you feel a stab of anger, realize you hold a sword above your head, and it will fall or be averted as you choose to be condemned or free. Thus does each one who seems to tempt you to be angry represent your Savior from the prison house of death, and so you owe him thanks instead of pain. Anybody out there who could get you triggered, you owe them thanks instead of pain, because they're showing you something that you still have active within your belief system that needs healing, that needs forgiveness. And once you heal that belief system that is causing you to see that person the way you do, and once you forgive that thing that's causing you to see this person the way you do, you will no longer see them the way you do, because you will see them as they really are. You no longer see a distorted image of who you think they are, because you're in your right mind. The only reason why you think that that person is the reason why you got triggered is because you have a distorted image of them, which is really just your own projections over them, and you can't see anything other than your own projection of them. Now, whenever you forgive them, and most importantly, forgive that belief system again that is causing you to see the world the way you do, you will no longer see the world any other way than what it really is, which is love and light and a reflection of who you really are as the Son of God. Be merciful today. The Son of God deserves your mercy. It is He who asks that you accept the way to freedom now. Deny Him not. His Father's love for him belongs to you. Your function here on earth is only to forgive him, that you may accept him back as your identity. He is as God created him, and you are what he is. Forgive him now his sins, and you will see that you are one with him. You and me and everyone here and everything here and all that is one with our Creator. We are one, we are whole, we are all united. And anytime we perceive any separation, we have split our mind into two or multiple parts. And in that moment, we need to forgive ourselves for doing so, in order to realize that we can never really split anything. We can never really separate ourselves from God. That is a mere hallucination. It's an illusion. All that is love and light and truth. And although we can believe that we're something other than what we really are, we can never really change the fact that we have and forever will be as God created us. And whenever we return to this state of mind, whenever we no longer operate from the separated self at 69.9 FM, and we tune to the higher stations of 100.9 FM, and we're operating from this higher frequency, now we can see from our bird's eye view everything below, and we can see that it's all an illusion, because what's really happening up here at the highest levels is what's really happening to begin with, and everything beneath that, all the separation that occurs beneath that, is just an illusion of what that individual really is, of what we all really are. So again, there's no amount of words that can be said in order to help convey what is formless and what is beyond words. The mind cannot comprehend what is beyond itself. So trying to use words to convey a message that is beyond the mind is going to require experiencing that state of mind more and more and more frequently in order to understand that. Meaning, if you are in algebra, right? If you are in algebra, you cannot understand calculus because it is beyond your current understanding. It is beyond your current awareness level. It is beyond your current state of mind. So algebra you can understand, and you could also understand everything that comes before it: addition, subtraction, fractions, decimals, etc. You could understand where you're at and what's beneath it, but something that's beyond your current state of mind is going to be hard to explain, which is why it's going to require you to become a master at algebra and learn all these steps necessary to complete algebraic problems, so that way whenever you know this so well, then your teacher could teach you concepts that you already know and expand on those concepts. And if you have no concepts, if you have no understanding of a concept for your teacher to expand on, you're not going to be able to learn calculus. You're not going to be able to learn algebra if you didn't first learn how addition worked, subtraction, multiplication, division. If you didn't have those concepts down if you didn't have that foundation, you can't move to the next level because you don't have nothing your teacher could expand on. So because you learned addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, your teacher is now saying, okay, now I can use what you know right now and expand on those ideas to help you expand your awareness more. And then from algebra, we expand your awareness more and more until you know it all. That's kind of what's happening right now, is me and you are at a certain state of mind, and every single discussion we have is going a little bit more and more of what we previously were, and we're using concepts that we discussed previously to help us expand on that idea more and more, to help expand our mind. Our mind, we cannot understand what is beyond our mind, meaning our mind is only going to understand the concepts that it knows now and anything that led it to that point. And anything beyond it, it is going to need a reference point to get to understand what is beyond it. So let's just understand that if there's anything in here that we've discussed so far that does not make sense, your first objective is to just understand, where am I at right now in relation to this information? Where am I at right now in relation to this information? And use what you already know and expand on what you already know more and more, and that will cause you to broaden your perspective, which is what me and you are doing together with the course. So that's really something that is not necessary for us to do or ask ourselves, because we're doing it together. But just know that if we take a look at somebody else who is in algebra class and they haven't mastered algebra class, we cannot teach them calculus because they have nothing for us to expand on. So we're going to pause right there. Me and you have reached a new level of awareness today, and we are going to go even higher than where we're currently at now. And where we're currently at now with our current understanding is going to be what we use to reach that next level. We can't get to level 101 if we're not already at level 100. Me and you before this lesson today were, let's just say, we'll use these lessons for example. Me and you yesterday were at lesson 191. Now, because today we finished lesson 192, today we used what we learned yesterday in 191 to fully understand 192. We unlocked a new level, and now our awareness has broadened. And now we are going to continue tomorrow's lesson with lesson 193. And what we learned today is going to be the reason why 193 is going to make so much sense to us. And if we would have skipped today's lesson, we still would have got some value from tomorrow's lesson without today's lesson, but we wouldn't have been able to comprehend it as deep as we are going to if we didn't have today's lesson. So everything is perfect timing. Everything's working out as it needs to be. We are in the right place at the right time. We're going to pause right there because we have definitely discussed some high-level concepts today, and we will allow that to sink in for the rest of the day. We will meet here again for lesson 193 tomorrow, and until then, may we never be the same. I will catch you tomorrow.